Welcome to the Speer podcast, a show where artists and musicians with an axe to grind throw things deep into the abyss of the Speer. Transphobia, racism, ableism, anti-Semitism, sexism, and homophobia, it all gets dumped on the trash! How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the motherfucking Speer podcast. It's me, everyone's favourite, big, voluptuous, delicious daddy, the right reverend of the Pentecostal Church of the Speer, the cryptid cuddler himself, Big Thinny Taste Tano, the big Chungus. It's big tasty, and we're post MPF. I did record an episode live at MPF, and I, was gonna get it out straight away, but I'm waiting to get the file, and I don't want to pester Sarah Williams for it too much because my microphones are all fucking up and going out of sync, and I didn't want my podcast to sound like Zakk Wylde's guitar tone, so I just kind of left Sarah to record it. And she's basically been in an iron lung since MPF because she's so tired, so I've been letting her kind of get on with her life, and then I'll get the file back. That's a long way of saying next week will be the live episode. But anyway, speaking of MPF, I had a lovely cuddle and a little multiple chin wags and street hugs with today's guest, who's now going to be proudly joining the guests who have been on 3 times. There's only a few that have had the triple whammer. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the most handsome man in punk rock journalism, the Quacious Locutus, the man who sends me videos of him talking about beans, Mr. Ear Nutrition himself, Matt Speer. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, good. That was quite the introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome. Happy birthday for yesterday. How old are you now, sir?
23. No, I'm joking. 32.
Oh, mate, I'm right there, just behind you. Soon I shall be also joining the deep in the 30s club.
Deep in them 30s.
Yeah, balls deep in the 30s.
It's a wonderful time.
Did you have a good time at MPF?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't stop smiling the whole time. Lots of running around and crazy clashes and decisions and existential dread, but it was all just part of it. Saw loads of people that I liked, which is nice because things have been a bit crap recently. So it's nice to go to MPF and be distracted.
That's always any MPF I've ever been to, I'll probably see like 5 or 6 bands over the whole weekend, and the rest of the time it's just like, cool, I get to catch up with all these people that I only know from online or doing C-Bin or like at gigs every now and then. Like I get to have a proper catch up with everyone all at once. It's well nice.
Yeah, it's nice, and also sometimes it's just some people you just bump into, and that's the only time you saw them that weekend. But in those sort of 3.5 seconds, or even less, it's just, do you know what? That was wonderful. Now I'm going to run to this band and hopefully not get stopped by security or whatever. No, I'm joking. Security were great this year.
They were much better than last year. They were fucking intensely, bombastically shitty. And then I think I only got fucked over by one this year, and that was in the bread shed.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't have any problems this year, but I remember last year at Gorilla I was getting checked and felt up and whatever else, pockets checked. But no, MPF was a wonderful time.
Gorilla was the worst.
It was, yeah. But I mean, obviously, got to see you, got to see everybody, got to watch the live Speer. So
yeah. And if you weren't in the live Speer, then fuck you. You're no longer my friend.
You do not matter to me.
This relationship is over. It's a beautiful time. So we're going to talk a bit about beans in a little bit, but I just want to talk about beans now because, for those who don't know, which is probably no one, because this is a personal thing that Matt sends me on as a private thing. But
very private.
I don't know how it even started. But
after 9 o'clock, it's the watershed.
But me and Matt just just talk about beans, and Matt will send me videos of his cupboard and just going beans.
It was the last sea bin. It was the last sea bin. So when I came down to Falmouth, well, a year and a half ago now, it must be. I was doing we were talking like Jason Statham and Ross Kemp, and I'm Ross Kemp and I'm doing this or whatever. Or Jason Statham just doing stuff with beans or whatever, and then we just started going beans after a while, and then
beans.
It just persisted and proliferated our existence to this day.
It did. I just wanted to bring it up because I don't think, Matt, you understand how happy these videos make me. And I don't know. You have like some sort of internal like alarm bell that whenever I'm having a shit day, you're just like, oh, I think I need to send Si a bean vid, and I'll just get a vid of you, the beans. By the time this episode's come out, I have made a supercut of all of the bean vids, and with Matt's permission, I will be sharing the beans.
You have my permission. I only want to beanify the world, whatever that means.
Yeah, I just want to flick the world's bean.
Well, only after 9 o'clock, obviously. But, yeah. It's bean time, everybody.
I think my favourite of the vids is I might see if I can send Jimmers the audio. Insert audio here, Jimmers. But it's when you say the time for bread is over, the age of bean has begun, and that one makes me laugh the most.
I don't know why I thought of that one. I think it's because I might have been listening to Bobby Funk, and obviously you did the Urukai, didn't you? And I think something along the. Looks like beans are back on the menu, boys. But it just reminded me of it, and I thought, do you know what? I was probably having a shit day, and thought I'm going to put some joy in Simon's life because I like Simon.
Well, you're a fucking wizard. Yeah, little known fact, if those who don't know, listen to the Bobby Funk song Povo Goblin, and the Urukai at the end of that song is me. To save the band from crippling copyright strikes from Weta Studios and New Line Studios. So that's me. Right. Speaking of crippling copyright, that has no connection to what we're going to get into. But actually, because C-Bin I technically could get done in for because there is a C-Bin, and I'm just here like one day it's going to happen. I'm going to have to do a horrible rebranding like Slaves and call it like the Soft Play Podcast or something.
The Soft Play Podcast.
Yeah,
interesting.
You know that band Slaves that have changed their name to Soft Play and everyone's just really mad about it?
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, they're headlining 2,000 Trees, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this band? And it's like, oh, it's Slaves. Everyone's like, this is a shit name.
Soft Play.
Yeah.
I feel like we could make that weird.
We probably could.
If we wanted to. We probably could.
Yeah. That's when you do foreplay, but only with a soft penis, and as soon as it gets hard, you got to cool it down a little bit.
Yeah. Cancel soft play when it gets beyond medium.
As soon as there's the slightest of throb, it's time to put it down.
It's getting heavy down there.
Yeah, things are getting warm and throbby. Right, thinking of warm and throbby, let's talk about what a buffet twat. What's a buffet twat, Matt Speer?
Oh, God, I mean, what isn't the buffet twat? But imagine this image, right?
All right, I'm going to close my eyes and think.
It's lunchtime. There are 12 to 15 people in a room, and they're hungry, but they all have different dietary requirements, or whatever else.
Wah wah.
Yeah, and then like an abundance of food on a table that you ain't got to pay for. It's fantastic. You know, it's great. It's fantastic, but it's just never that simple. And you know. As humans have evolved, you know, different diets, different cultures, you know, you could have a table for different reasons. You know, all these people eat different things, you know, for religious reasons or because they've got a dodgy stomach or whatever. And there's always that one twat or multiple twats usually. You don't have to rub your eyes any harder. I know that I am that horrible to look at.
No, I just got itchy man eyes.
Man eyes, interesting. Masculine eyes.
Yeah.
But there's all these people, and they're just waiting to have their food or whatever, and then all of a sudden this twat comes along and just takes a shitload of everything, and there'll be and that's the beauty of a buffet is variety. But then, there'll be a vegan sat there, or a vegetarian, or someone who's lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
They might have some lacto-free cheese or something. Someone eats that. Can't have their fucking cheese toasty or whatever now. Or, there's like a really nice chickpea salad, and there's only, say, 2 vegan options on this table, and then someone comes in, and all the meat eaters and the omnivores, meat eater sounds a bit derogatory, but all the omnivores come and eat all of that, and then there's bugger all left. I was at long story short, when I was head bartender at this bar a few years ago, we were sent down to London to see these ridiculous training courses that made no sense, and it was just pointless, but whatever. And this thing happened, and I was vegetarian at the time, and I was at the back of the line, which is where I was at the table, and I looked, and there was only 2 veggie options, which I was all right, fine, doesn't really bother me, free food. And everyone got there before me, had eaten all of it, and I had a choice of salad that was riddled with cucumber. A cucumber is fucking evil. Don't care what anyone says.
It is.
Fight me.
It is shit.
I don't mind it if it's in like a smoothie, because I can't taste it. I know it's good for me. It's a nice green thing. I like green things, but cucumbers, it ain't right. It needs to be not exist in its physical form. Anyway, it was that or some fucking cake, and I said, I said out loud, I don't want to be that person, but are there any more vegetarian options? And firstly, this guy next to me goes, but there's some fish there. I went, no, I'm vegetarian. Oh, you're a real vegetarian? Yes, because that would be a pescatarian, but because you glaze past that. And there was just no food left, and I had a choice of this salad, which I didn't like, and had been seasoned in something that was a bit grim, and cake. And I like cake. But I had too much cake. That was part of the problem. But there's these people that will just come and eat everything. Or alternatively, my partner organises her office work lunches, and people will order their food, right? She do a pre-order, it arrives, and then people just go in without thinking, go into this hunger-filled rage, and then just eat things that aren't theirs. So either they're eating something which is for someone that's got a dietary requirement. You might have a celiac there, and they've ordered some gluten-free bread, gluten-free pizza, and then some cunt comes and eats that and goes, oh, sorry, I didn't realise. And most of these things are usually labelled, but also, remember what you fucking ordered. Now, every now and again, it's human nature, you forget what you've ordered in a restaurant because there's too much going on. It's loud, or for your office lunch or whatever. But I've been on both sides of this. I've been the cunt that's made it. I've been the cunt that's taken the order. And you get to the table and I'll be like, chicken pad thai, chicken pad thai, chicken pad thai. Just fucking put it down and just in front of someone and then fuck off because no cunt can remember. And these are the same...
Was that the chicken pad thai?
Yeah. And these are the same motherfuckers that will go and eat a load of stuff that isn't for them. And there's nothing wrong with having some of the vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian dish on a plate if you're an omnivore. I don't begrudge people for their diets. I'm not one of those, But if you see all of this gluten-free food that's really fucking obviously labelled, or this vegan food or whatever variation is labelled, and then you still go and eat a shitload of it when you know that you don't require that food to be prepared in such a way for that dietary requirement, and you take the last of it, or take all of it, or take most of it, and then the people that actually need that come along and they haven't got anything,
Yeah.
Especially if
I never even thought about it like that.
And it's even when I used to eat meat, and I ate meat for 27 years of my life. I would have a bit of everything, but even then, when it was made aware that vegetarianism was a thing when I was a kid, and vegans less later on in life, whatever. I would never just take all of it because why the fuck would you?
Well,
and it's really annoying.
Just shit behaviour in general.
Like wanting to try it, like power to you. If you want to try some different food, sick. Yeah. But fucking think. And it's always people who have never, usually anyway, not always, so I should take that back. You have never done those sorts of jobs. It's quite a common, thing because it just haven't got a fucking clue, which is fine. But try and educate yourself. But we've got a lot of mutual friends that have got dietary requirements, like being gluten free.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. I think just in general, like if you're at a fucking buffet and there's a plate of something, like you don't take fucking there's other people around. Like if there's like just a plate of anything, and you take like quarter of the whole plate just because you really like. Say you like chicken drumsticks, and there's a plate with 10 chicken drumsticks on it, and you're at a buffet. Don't walk up and take 4 chicken drumsticks, you bellend.
No.
Like, take 1 or 2. Like that's an appropriate amount. You know, it should go with anything. It's just like we're all in this together. It reminds me of that. You ever see that film where it's like a dystopian thing? They're in like a prison. This platform's got all this food on it, and the people at the top get the first pick of the food, and then as it goes down, and you take a little bit, and then the platform goes down, and then it's like a class, an allegory for the class system, whatever. It's like that. Don't be the cunt at the top who's got like all the food option and just like stuff it in your mouth and fuck everyone else. Just share it around. It's fine.
It's like that whole really robust idea of a trickle-down economy that definitely works.
It definitely works. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely works. 100%. Fuck yeah, capitalism. But yeah, it's just not. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But these days, especially now, in the last 10 years, there's a lot of education on allergens and food requirements and stuff. It's there. People will label it. It will say you have a V or a VE or a GF or whatever the fuck. And it's just why. It just winds me up, mate. To be honest.
Yeah. What's your best thing on a buffet? That's like the standard everyday buffet items. What's your best one?
It's been a while since I've been at a proper buffet, but I mean, like, generally, if there's a large amount of potato-based carbohydrates, I'm there. But equally, I've been really into falafel for the past however many years I haven't been eating meat. So, like, some falafel, or I really like. I don't see it very often, but like pea-based salads, stuff like that. I don't know.
Pea-based salads.
Yeah. Like you get like a pea and mint salad or side thing, dude. I don't know. Stuff like that. I like healthy shit on a buffet because then I can eat more of it.
Yeah. See,
obviously leave some for other people,
man. Like, let's say that Auntie Nora's died. You go to a wake and there's a buffet. Like, first thing I'm looking for, sausage rolls. Where's the sausage rolls? Right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Where's the breadsticks?
Oh yeah. Do you know, John? I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah, there's always like a vase or a pint glass with breadsticks poking out of them, normally to be nibbled on by kids like 5-year-olds, and also 32-year-old men who have a plate of sausage rolls, breadsticks, Doritos, cocktail sausages and cheese on sticks. I like that. That's my buffet fave.
Yeah, I do miss. Do you know what? I think my answer was quite addictive of there is that I've been to a load of these work events and just been spoilt with posh shit. But really,
that's a very corporate buffet.
It is. But that's how many of them I've had to go to. So not so much now. But I'll be honest. I would rather just go for something like there's like a load of sausage rolls or chips.
Yeah.
Or like potato croquettes. Actually, do like those.
Yeah. In Cornwall, pretty much every buffet there'll be like a basket of little cocktail pasties, cheese and onion. If you're a vegetarian, vegans you can basically go do one. There'll be just a plate of salad.
Oh, that's another thing. You just reminded me. And these are the same cunts that they've just seen you go, oh shit, well, they looking a bit despondent because you haven't got any bloody food and you've been sat listening to some cunt for 5 hours or whatever. And I didn't realise how angry I was today. I was going to try and be nice and calm this time. And I remember fucking James Domestic.
That's what the bin's all about, mate.
Like James Domestic last time, I didn't realise Matt was so angry. Like, with big grin. Fucking cheesy ice cream lord. But anyway.
Oh, what a mad cunt. What did you do? You went to a fucking buffet and you saw fucking James Domestic there with ice cream and cheese in the corner, living like a psychopath.
His face is... I got to say, I'm taking the piss, but I love James Domestic. What a man. But yeah,
great.
But yeah, these are the same bastards that will go, well, why can't you just have chips? Or why can't you just... Now, the concept of the buffet twat just transcends all of it. And a lot of the time, they're the pricks that are making it because they've got some kind of prejudice against people that don't just eat meat and stuff. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't begrudge people for their diets, but if you're going to be like, I'm not making that because it's this, I'm not making that because it's this, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking buffet twats. But they'll stand there and go, "We can just have chips." So, well, very funny. I like nutrients as well, you know. I like nice tasting food as well, you know. Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't get me wrong, got no problem with the chip, but also I can't just be eating chips, man. I need a breadstick.
And I am a chippy boy.
You are very chippy. I've always said that about you, Matt. I've always said that boy is a chippy boy. And,
I eat too many chips. I work opposite a chip shop and they always give us free shit.
Damn. You got chips coming out of the wazoo, which is where they famously come from.
Whatever. Let me absorb them spuddies.
Eating chips via osmosis, just sticking your hand in a pile of chips and then just absorbing through the flesh.
Spudmosis.
It's going in the sea bin. Listen for the splash. In it goes. Buffet twats. You know, when we throw things into the sea bin, you know, that's quite an absolute decision we get to make. So tell me, Matt, what's your problem with day-to-day absolutes?
Right, so this is actually quite a good segue. I quite enjoyed that. Oh, hydration fluid. Let me also engage in some hydration fluid.
Yeah, the tap juice.
Oh, hell yeah. Right, it's I think a lot of this is because I've worked in, you know, I've been working in hospitality and retail, or customer service in general, combined since I was 17. That's 15 years of my life. And a lot of this comes from marketing. A lot of this kind of feeds into what I said earlier about judging people's food habits and drinking habits and whatever. So a lot of it is based on food, but it could be absolutely anything. It's when people go, "Oh, you've got to have X with this, do you?" Or, "Oh yeah, everybody loves that." Or, "How can you not like that?" Or, you know, that where they phrase it as a question, but it's like, "Oh,
right.
You know, that." I'm trying to think of an example. So I work in a place that most of the food is cheese based, right? Which is obviously not for me, but whatever. It doesn't bother me. But then people will say, I run out of something, and someone will go, "Oh yeah, but you've got to have that. You've got to have that with this. You've got to have this brand of crisps with your this, that, and the other. You've got to have this with this." What do you know what I mean? And it's just you are some sort of casualty of marketing. Like, we're all a casualty of marketing to some extent, because that is how it fucking works. That's how clever it is, right? But it's just really fucking annoying. It's like, you know, and I think a lot of this, in my sort of opinion, I did the module on the 60s at uni, and it comes from a time where branding got fucking massive, right? And it's happened before the 60s, like Guinness adverts, Guinness is good for you, you know, shit like that. It comes up in one of George Orwell's books. But imagine, you know, if you think of like our parents' generation, who are in the 60s to 70s now, and like they'll only buy certain brands of certain things, and it's not necessarily that they like that thing so much. It's more that they've just been told. So they're like, "Oh, you've got to have this with this. You've got to have this with this." And this whole this absolutism that you get with products and food and whatever else, it completely sort of permeates everything. And it really fucking winds me up, because, you know, you've got to have that brand of headphones. Everything else is shit. It's like music gear. I don't know too much about that, but if you've got a new bass cab and then someone comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, but you've got to have orange," or "You've got to have fucking," you know what I mean? It's just, to put it in those terms. And you're just, again, like I said, we're all a casualty of fucking marketing, and we are, but you just sound like a fucking bellend. Like, do you actually... You
sound like a shill.
Yeah, you do. That's exactly that. Cool. Yeah, well done. That's the word I was looking for. But it just really bothers me, mate, because but in my line of work, it's almost entirely, you know, it's like, this is a bit of a segue, but grown men not being able to drink their beer in anything less than a pint just makes me laugh on a daily basis, and I do wind these people up. But they were like, "Got to have a pint." 2/3? What is that? I work in a craft beer bar, if that's for context, everybody. But
right.
I'm not having a third of beer. I'm not having a beer under 6%. Or, you know, again, same fucking thing. Yeah. And it's do you think for yourself ever? And again, I'm not saying that I haven't probably done this in my 32 years on this dismal planet, but because I probably have. but it's something I've become very acutely aware of now, where if someone does it, I just click in and go, fuck, I heard that, where was that, like when I'm at work or whatever.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things that once you hear, you can't unhear it. Your brain just fucking, and once you're annoyed by it, you're forever going to be pissed off by it.
Yeah, I don't know if that mad ramble made any sense to you, but absolutely, or anyone. But it's just really silly, and it's, you know, so my boss said something to me, like, we changed one of the specs for one of the dishes just to bulk the plates out a bit, which I didn't have a problem with. And he went, oh yeah, but everyone loves a pickled onion. And I'm thinking, well, I don't. If you said, if you just said, people like a pickled onion, people like that, where it's, because obviously, you know, British English is quite tonal, isn't it? So that would also be part of a delivery. But when you speak in this kind of absolute tone, it's like, does everyone? Is that a thing? Does everyone like that? You know, you've got to, you know, it's like trying to explain to my mum, like, she's buying, well, she's not so bad now, but growing up, she's doing the shopping. I was like, why don't you buy some of like the own brand version of, I don't know, just to keep in continuity, Heinz Bones, you know. Why don't you? And I used to say, yeah, but why don't you? I said, because I worked in supermarkets I worked in fucking Morrison's for nearly 7 years of my life, and I had to work in the co-op during lockdown, and I saw this stuff quite a lot, and the restrictions and stuff. You know, I said to her, I was like, well, why don't you buy it wasn't actually Boons, but it was something else. I said, why don't you buy the cheaper brand? Oh, I don't like it. And I go, okay, well, have you tried it? No, I just don't like it. Yeah, I have tried it. Yeah. Like, no, you've just been, marketing has got you again. Yeah, you know, you're just it's like I might just be because we're millennials or whatever, but as I imagine most of the people that listen to this are. But I think we're from a different time, and as much as our people our age younger do this as well, because everyone does it. But we're prone to research. We do product research. It's like if you need a new fucking mic for podcasting, you're going to look for recommendations and you're going to look for different brands. And you might end up getting the top end brand that everyone recommends in the end. But you've actually, you know, you've gone to research it. You've gone to look at it. You're not just going, I've got to have that fucking mic or mic stand or whatever because it's that brand.
Yeah.
And it happens all the fucking time. You know, just because
like in an age of preference, and everyone is kind of more comfortable with like allowing themselves to be more individual in their tastes. I definitely think it's definitely a generational thing. Yeah, like you said, of like, you know, with beans, a load of people growing up with like having beans, me's, Heinz slammed into their fucking head, so they think that if they're eating anything that's not Heinz, then it's not a fucking can of beans, but it is beans.
It's always beans.
This is probably from the same fucking factory. Just, you know, these are the beans that, you know, are a bit fucking bent out of shape.
They're at the bottom of this massive. It's like when you go to like a fucking Holiday Inn or something, and you've got the ladle.
There's the bottom layer.
It's the bottom like crust. You know, they've gained sentience at that point and want to destroy the world in a fire of beanie glory. But
the bean plywood.
I feel like this is the fart bin bean cast at this point. The bean bin pulse cast.
Oh man, the fart bin bean cast is the new name for sure. Oh my god!
But yeah, I hope that makes sense. But
it makes absolute sense.
But also, to sabotage it slightly, I'm not. I don't want to gatekeep. I don't want to, because this does annoy me, and I'll admit that. And I probably also have fallen for it in my time. And the last thing I want to do is gatekeep. And there's gatekeeping, and there's what can be perceived as gatekeeping. It's still gatekeeping if someone feels it's gatekeeping. That's how it is. But
yeah,
and I don't want to insult those people. I don't want to upset people.
No one wants to upset anyone, man. But it's just about what pisses you off, man. This is why if they get upset about it, they can come on here and talk about it. You know, this is your platform to spread your annoyances and your grievances, and you know, we're not talking about preference here, because, like, you know, if someone's like, oh, you know, it's not a cup of tea for me unless I've got Yorkshire tea. Like, that's understandable. But, like, you know, if you walk around and being like, that's not tea because that's a PG tip, it's like, you know, as long as you're not being a fucking prick about it and you're just enjoying your preferences, that's fine. But I think when it's like very obvious fucking brand brainwashing and you're walking around being a fucking twat about it, then, you know, sort your life out.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It just doesn't sit well with me. I might just be because I'm getting old or something. But I mean, but to be fair, it has always bothered me, and I've never quite understood it because I always just think, well, why? Why is that? Like, what empirical evidence do you have? What factual evidence do you have? You know?
Yeah, I feel like I think there's a we could rephrase it, name it something different. I think if we named it like unwilling fucking corporate shills, like where you just have this brand loyalty when I don't know, but then I'm just getting mad at capitalism. I'm just thinking about people that have Monster Energy drink tattoos.
Have what tattoos?
Have Monster Energy drink logo tattoos. Like people that get like corporate logo tattoos and shit. I'm just like, what are you doing, you walking billboard cunt?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything corporate really, but I do have some logo tattoos. That's mainly bands.
Yeah, that's different though. That's different from like getting like Coca-Cola written on your knuckles or something.
You imagine if you see some photo of some fucking hardcore band or whatever, or some metal band, and they're doing this, like holding the fists out,
Coca-Cola.
And you zoom in and it just says Coca-Cola. You imagine that, like Coke Core. I'm sure that means something else to a lot of people. Sniffity. But
just says Amazon.
But surely, I don't think. No, I'm not going to say that. I don't think that's going to be. Maybe not.
Oh god, I was going to think. I'm just going to assume that you're about to say something incredibly racist. Then.
No, I wasn't. I just thought it was a bit raw. I was going to be like, well, yeah, but surely by now it'd be post rainforest core, wouldn't it? With the rain that's going.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah. I meant more. Bezos.
Oh, the penis rocket man.
Yeah, cock rocket.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are many men that wish their tool was a bit more cumbersome. But I mean, to build a giant rocket, the shape of a dick. I don't know. I'm not every
like some awkwardly shaped luggage, like.
But maybe if that's what people are into. But no, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. What a man! Like, what a penis rocket that happens.
What a man! What a penis rocket that man is. He's like slowly turning into Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is Jeff Bezos? Have you seen him recently? He's a big beefcake.
Is he?
He's a big bowl beefcake, and I think it's because his girlfriend or like his ex-wife or something was stolen by like a big muscle man, and then he was like, you know what, I've got the 100 trillion bazillion squid, I'm going to just get really, really muscly, and now he's really beefy. Beefy Bezos.
This is actually quite an interesting analogy, because a similar situation happened to me when I was younger, where this guy who had been left by someone I ended up being in a relationship with for a few years was driving around and like following me in his car and like threatening to curb stomp me and all this other shit. And eventually,
nice.
And he was about 3 times my size as well. And he said, I think we need to talk about this, because then he managed to worm his way back in and I was dumped. It's a whole crazy situation. It's in my early 20s. So
that's nice.
Oh yeah,
good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds healthy.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. And then we sat in this fucking Weatherspoons, right? And
how depressing.
Yeah, I know. And I met up with him because I was like, do you know what? I'm sick of this. So if I do this, he might leave me alone, and he did, kind of. And me and her ended up getting back together later on, which again shouldn't have done, but I was young, made a mistake, whatever. And he fucking started. He cut a mohawk in apparently, because I had a big mohawk at the time before my hair decided to run away 7 long years ago. And he and so we're dressing like me and listening to music that he knew that I liked. It was very strange. But yeah, maybe Bezos is having the same problem, kind of.
Yeah, maybe he's having a little identity crisis. You know, I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't a fucking giant prick.
Billionaire.
Yeah, that too. There's only one thing. There's one thing that'll help you out with some heartbreak, Bezos. Just like, give all your money away and let us eat you. But
eat the rich.
I don't know. I feel like there's something in me that's saying I shouldn't throw this in the bin.
And do you know what? I feel that.
I feel like it's annoying, but also I don't think it's like. I think it's more of a personal thing that's gotten in your head like a splinter, and is now just pissing you off.
But just because I like arguing, you can, so punks, you can imagine. But sometimes people use this for. You say, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like cucumber, or I don't like chutney I don't know, mango chutney, I know we've talked about before or whatever, but then they make it kind of like an affront to you, and they just go,
right.
Wait, but you've got to have that, do you? Like, well, okay, why are you attacking me because my choice isn't like yours? You've got to like this band, you've got to have that cab, you've got to have that mic stand, you've got to have that food, you've got to have this. And that's where the corporate shill side of it is one of those things which it does really bother me. Personally, I hold my hands up, it does. But at the same time, a lot of these people will just be like, yeah, but you've got to have that, ain't you? None of that rubbish. I'm like, well, okay, so you've just insulted me for something I can or cannot afford or really like or suits me, and it flips back on that way. And
you know what? It's going in the bin. Fuck it. Right, it's going in. Listen for the splash. In it goes. You were so impassioned at the start, and then we kind of like got talked about Bezos in the middle,
phallic
and it
boosters.
took me talk about big cock rocket Basie, and then the little impassioned speech at the end riled me up so much that I probably would have punched a child if there was one in front of me.
Was that because I was fucking pointing at the camera like fucking?
Yeah, you were bullying me, and I felt scared. And
whoa.
You weren't really bullying me. To be fair, I would want you to bully me. If you bullied me, I'd probably come. That's the problem.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd be like,
you fucking cunt! Don't call me that.
Stop it. The first recorded fucking podcast ejaculation.
the Bullybin Jizzcast. I've outdone myself there. Well done, Matt. Fucking hell.
Oh my god. Oh, there's a tear.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I proper choked on my own spit then as well. Oh,
sorry. Podcast operator dies due to jizz joke.
Just Jizzcast was the Bullybin was a delicious envelope through the door, and the Jizzcast was me opening it and it being like a letter bomb.
Spermicidal discourse.
Oh god, that's a fucking good grindcore name right there as well. On that note, I'm going to quickly thank my patrons for this month. Whew, as I breathe, thank you to Claire, CJ. You're making me do a really weird laugh that I've never done before.
I'm cackling. Oh god, I haven't cackled like that in a while.
Every time you come on, I end up making weird sex noises. Okay. Thank you to Claire, CJ, Aidan, Sean, James. Oh, fuck me. Cake, Christiane, Spoolbags, Tim, Alex Sniff, Jochen, CB, Fee, Peg, Rory, E.G., Jamie, Mark, David, Will, Sarah, Matt, Ollie, Alex, Chris, Dale, Caroline, Dave, Will, and Cody. I got there in the end. Thank you for supporting the show. Also, one last thank you, and this will be the last time I thank them because they've done a big rebranding. And Cold Press CBD, thank you for supporting the show up until now, but they are now rebranded to Calm CBD. They've changing the direction of how they do their sponsorships and stuff. So they're no longer like they're supporting the show in that we're friends and stuff. But I don't longer have a code or anything. But if you still want it, then check out Calm CBD. But thank you for supporting the show up until now, but no more cold press CBD shilling, I'm afraid. But thank you anyway. Because we're nice like that. God, I'm still trying to come to terms with what just happened.
That was some real laughter.
Yeah, that was real. From the core of my balls.
I think I haven't cackled like that audibly where other people can hear it since the last one of these we did. But also, I did a shout out to AJ from Menstrual Cramps. We did an interview recently, and some of their responses just made me cackle at work when I was definitely reading those emails instead of my work emails. So, little shout out there.
AJ's ace. They were on the show as well. They were very, very funny.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
I enjoyed them very much. So we talked about beans.
We did.
And about the beans that we send each other. But how well do we actually know beans, Matt? So I've gone to howstuffworks.com and I found a quiz that was written by Heather Collish.
Classic Heather.
You don't know beans, or do you? Ultimate bean quiz. So, beans are a mighty dietary staple, but too often they're relegated to mere toppings or side dishes. Take our quiz to see how much you know about this versatile food. Are you ready to start this bean quiz, Matt?
I was bean ready, my friend.
Oh, baby.
Hi-yo.
Right. Whew. So I don't know how hard this is going to be. Maybe we'll learn something. I don't know if they'll let us know the answers at the end, but we're going to find out how, if you're Mr. Bean after all. So, beans are members of what plant family? The nightshade family, legume, or cucurbit?
What?
Cucurbit.
More on that later.
Cucurbit. Cucurbit.
Is that like some sort of weird cucumber-orientated 8-bit music genre?
Yeah, maybe we should start that.
Well, I'd rather not, because cucumbers.
Yeah,
legumes. Got to go with those legumes.
That is the correct answer. Beans, peas, and lentils are members of the legume family.
Legume me long time.
That wasn't even good.
No, it was terrible, wasn't it?
Oh, man.
I only say this shit when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I know. I just bring out I completely absorb all your fucking mental capacity. What component of beans is responsible for causing gas? Right. Iron, sugar, or fibre?
It's got to be that fibre.
Wrong answer. Beans contain large amounts of complex sugar, which causes digestive gas. Canned beans don't cause as much gas as dry beans because the canning process removes some of the sugars.
Interesting.
Surely not. I mean, a can of beans is like drinking a can of syrup, really, isn't it? If you think about it.
Well, do you know what? That's interesting because being vegan, I fart a lot. Shout out vegans.
Yeah, you do.
I can't believe I just said that, but whatever. I found out that if you things like, obviously, even if it's chickpeas or lentils or butter beans or whatever, all things I eat lots of, if you wash them first, it apparently reduces bloating and farting.
Okay, well, that's funny you say that, because what can you do to keep beans from causing you gas is the next question.
Well, cook them through.
So it says, soak them in water overnight and discard the water, add lots of salt to the cooking water, or freeze the beans before you cook.
Freeze the beans before you cook them? Interesting.
Yeah.
Was cook them through not on there?
No, just soak them in water overnight.
If that's
add lots of salt to them.
If that's dried beans, because I've fucked up a few chilies in my lifetime, I'm not soaking my beans enough, so I think it might be that one. Because, I mean, you are, if it's dried beans, you are supposed to soak them.
So you're going to go for soaking them?
I don't know, because salt kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Oh.
Yeah, but adding lots of salt, I don't know.
I'll go soaking them.
Correct answer. Soaking the beans overnight in a pot of water helps dissolve the sugars that cause flatulence.
Yes.
Yeah, adding salt to water can actually make some beans tough, believe it or not. True or false? You should rinse canned beans before using them. True, false, or it depends on how you use them.
I think it depends, because I've seen some recipes where people don't.
Correct answer. Canned beans have a lot of added salt, so rinsing them gets rid of the excess. However, many beans come in a flavoured sauce, so you wouldn't want to send them down the drain, which I would agree. I've seen videos of people that like empty a can of Heinz into a sieve and wash them off, and I'm just like, you fucking paedophile. Right, true or false? Beans can be...
Sorry.
No, go on.
So my partner, Charlotte, told me that when she was travelling... she bought in Australia. We were both in Australia at the same time, it turns out, but we didn't know each other. It was like a potential love story that just didn't happen. Whatever.
Right.
She was eating some baked beans on toast or just in a bowl or whatever, and this American was like, "I can't believe you don't strain your haricots." And obviously she wasn't just eating haricot beans; she was eating baked haricot beans.
Right.
Apparently they strain all of the sauce out, but they come in the sauce ready to eat.
Yeah,
and then
that's proper nonce behaviour. That is
bean noncery. I was eating baked beans in an Australian hostel as well. And there's this Canadian nipper behind me, And he was like, "What the fuck are you eating?" And I went, "Well, beans on toast. Beans on toast, mate." And then I looked around and I had all these Europeans and North Americans just staring at me because they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And some of the Europeans were like, "Oh, he's just eating beans on toast. He's British, leave him alone." But some of these people just did not understand. And it caused a huge argument. It was really weird.
Pedos. True or false? Beans can be considered both a protein and a vegetable. True, false, or true, but only cannellini beans.
Well, true.
True. According to the US Department of Agriculture, both beans and peas can be considered vegetable and protein because of their high nutrient content. Which nut is really a bean? A hazelnut, a peanut, or a cashew?
That was a really nice high note on that burp. But
thanks, man. That was a key.
That was a good one. Cashew nut.
Wrong answer. Peanuts are members of the legume family.
What
along with beans, peas, and lentils. Yeah, I know. I do like a peanut.
I do as well.
How big is a serving size of beans? 1 cup, 2/3 cup, or 3/4 cup?
Oh, Americans and their cups.
I know. Twats.
We're insulting a lot of Americans today, aren't we?
I'm turning into Jeremy Clarkson halfway, as this quiz goes on. I'm just like, well, the Americans are just twats and the Australians don't like their beans, and Richard Hammond crashed his car.
James May doesn't run on camera. Fuck. So it was 2/3 an option.
Yeah.
Go 2/3.
Wrong answer. The US Department of Agriculture says half a cup of beans is 1 serving.
Ah, well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's an easy one to remember, I guess, isn't it? Half a cup of beans.
Is it?
True. I guess so. True or false? Beans add nitrogen to the soil they're growing in, making it available to other plants to grow in the same soil. The beans release nitrogen into the soil?
I have
Nitro beans?
Nitro. Yeah, why not?
Correct. Yep, beans add nitrogen to the soil. They're not only good for you, they're literally good for the earth. Literally. What are dry beans? Right, dehydrated beans, beans that are grown from for their seeds, not their pods, or uncooked beans. This is a weird question.
Yeah, that is strange. Grown for their seeds, because whenever you buy, my dad used to grow those as a veg growing up, and he used to save them and dry them and plant them.
Yeah, dry beans are grown for their seeds to be eaten, as opposed to green or string beans, which are eaten for their pods. True or false? All dry beans have essentially the same nutritional profile.
False.
Oh, what? As you said false, I should have said there was true, false, or almost true. But I thought, surely they wouldn't go for almost true, but false is the wrong answer. All dry beans are generally similar in nutritional content, with the exception of iron. White beans contain nearly twice as much iron as black beans, and kidney beans are between the two. That's the most stupidest fucking half-assed fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, the fuck beans. Fuck every bean.
Yeah, fuck beans. Yeah. If you gotta fucking hate beans, right? Which of the following is an advantage of using canned beans? They can be used immediately, they are already cooked, or both of the above.
Can you repeat the question?
Which of the following is an advantage of using canned beans? They can be used immediately, they're already cooked, or both of the above.
Both, I suppose, depending on what they are.
Yes, correct. Canned beans require no cooking and then can be used immediately. Aren't as likely to cause gas as dried beans you cook yourself. I promise we're nearly done with the beans. Fucking hell, no we're not. There's loads of questions.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right, let's try and fire through them as quick as possible. Right, quick fire bean round, alright? Compared to other fruits and vegetables, what do beans have more of? Antioxidants, fats, or sugar?
Antioxidants.
Correct. Beans are a beneficial component of diets for people who have which chronic disease? Multiple sclerosis, irritable bowel syndrome, or diabetes?
Diabetes?
Correct. Turtle beans is another name for black beans, navy beans, or pinto beans.
Pinto beans.
Incorrect. It's black beans. Which bean is typically used for succotash? Lima beans, fava beans, or butter beans?
I don't know what succotash is. Lima beans.
Correct. This is the worst thing I've ever done in this whole show.
This is the hardest day of my 33rd year, technically.
I know, I am sorry. What bean can be fatal to some people? Garbanzo beans, fava beans, or ananasi beans?
Well, garbanzo beans sounds like some sort of villain in a 70s detective drama.
Yeah, unfortunately, fava beans are deadly.
Oh, damn it.
That's probably why Hannibal Lecter favours them. What kind of beans are used for money in Aztec culture? Turtle beans, cacao beans, or lima beans?
Cacao beans.
Correct. Which of the following flavours does not come from a bean? Chocolate, licorice, or vanilla?
Licorice.
Correct. How many more of these have I got? I think this might be the last question.
Oh.
Oh no, I've got two more. Complete this adage. It doesn't amount to a pound of beans, a mess of beans, or a hill of beans.
Pound of beans?
No, the correct answer is a hill of beans. I've never heard of a hill of beans. This don't amount to a hill of beans.
I have so many questions.
Hold on, right. When something is considered trivial or insufficient, it's sometimes described as not amounting to a hill of beans. While it's been an American adage since mid-1800s, Humphrey Bogart made the saying world famous when he uttered in the scene of in Casablanca. This don't amount to a hill of beans.
Bean-free fart gun.
What? Well, saying that, I have a Romanian volunteer in my shop, and she says that a saying is in Romania is like you've blown your nose into the beans.
You've blown your nose into the beans. Interesting.
Like if you fuck something up, like you just blew your nose in the beans.
Does that mean you've ruined the beans because you contaminated them or something?
Yeah, you've blown your nose over the beans. Like you fucked it up. You made a silly mistake. You just blew your nose into the beans.
Snotty beans.
Yeah. Right, last question. Which US president has a portrait made of jelly beans? Right? Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, or Bill Clinton with his little saxophone?
Tear down this bean. No. Jimmy Carter.
A portrait of Ronald Reagan made of 10,000 jelly beans hang in his presidential library in California.
Little shriveled conservative beans.
Yeah. Oh, this is also really anticlimactic because I thought it was going to, give you like a paragraph to describe your bean knowledge, but it just says you got 12 out of 20. Better luck next time.
Guess I don't know my beans.
Apparently not. I'm sorry I made you endure that horrible quiz.
What an
I feel like I've really let everyone down.
Shitty prick of a vegan I am.
Yeah, I mean, that quiz didn't amount to a hill of beans, did it?
No, it did not. That hill of beans is just out of my reach.
Yeah, I'm going to turn that hill of beans into a molehill or whatever the saying is. Matt, let's try and power through these two sea bins as I've just spent the last half an hour talking about beans. What's your gripe with people asking, "Are you open?"
Right, so you open the bar, the restaurant, the cafe, the shop, whatever. Someone just quite often I'm there half an hour, sometimes 4 hours ahead of time when I'm at the bar because I'm stock counting, I'm line cleaning, I'm doing some manager bollocks. And someone will walk in with all the blinds down, right? I'm downstairs in the cellar. I'll come upstairs. All the fucking lights are off. I've got fucking obnoxious music blasting on through the speakers. And they go, "Oh, are you open?" What? Or they'll walk past a mountain of heavy, shitty IKEA furniture.
Beans, yeah.
They'll walk past the hill of beans. At the bottom, written in various legumes, says, "Not open." We open at 12 Bean. what has become of me, honestly.
So
And they just go, "Oh, are you open?" No. Or they'll walk in and what they'll do is they'll push you've put something in front of the door. It's like 10 minutes they've got so many scenarios. 10 minutes before you open, you put a sign, a chair, a box, a corpse or something in front of the door to signal that you ain't fucking open yet, and they'll just push whatever out the way and go, "Oh, are you open?" These are also the same cunts, because "Are you open?" and the like sort of people that will go walk into a business that's new and struggling and quiet. When you know all businesses are struggling at the moment, they go, "Oh, a bit quiet today, isn't it? It's going to get busy later." Yeah, thanks for rubbing it in that my wages might not get paid next month because it's so fucking dead.
Yeah,
and it's
cheers for that, mate.
Yeah, and that's the same cunt. Same cunt that just walks in past all of these. You know, there could be a mountain of beans, flaming beans, or corpses, or both, or corpses full of beans on fire.
That's the dream.
On fire, right?
Yeah.
You know, beans coming out of every orifice, and they would in the doorway, and they would push it out of the way and go, "Oh, are you open?" Or I'll come upstairs with my headphones on, and they'll go, "Oh, can I get some cans?" And they won't even notice that the fridge that the cans are in has got all the furniture in front of it. Are you expecting me to move all of that out of the way for you? And I swear, since like post restrictions, you know, post all the COVID stuff, people have got invariably worse. It's like, are you a fucking idiot? It's like that whole story you told me about the sofa thing. Someone dropped off a sofa at the... you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you an idiot? Like, where have you been living this whole time?
Yeah, like what is your malfunction? Like what is broken in your brain? Like what wire has been fucking swapped over that makes you think that this is fine? When I was working at fucking Geeky Tree, like there'd be all the fucking lights would be off. There'd be people there with their little hand binoculars in the window, looking through, going like, "Are you open?" It's like, "No, I'm not fucking open, you fucking trolley." Like, if you just look at the sign that's right next to you,
but they'll read the sign and they'll still ask you.
Yeah, what I get as well is because I open at 9:30 in the charity shop, but I'm there at like 8 just to get, you know, banking sorted, get everything sorted. I have all the lights on, and I'm there like sorting the till and getting it ready for the day, and I'll hear like the squeak of the door handle as people are trying to open the door, and then they'll sort of stand there and stare at me, and I'm sort of staring at them back, and they're like trying the handle, and I'm just like,
"What are you doing?"
Open. Yeah, and then they ring the doorbell, and I'm like, "I'm not," and they're like, "I've got some donations." I was like, "I don't give a flying fig's fuck. Leave them outside the door, you fucking tip. Like, I've got things to do. Like, my till hasn't even turned on yet, you fanny." And then sometimes, right, I had a woman who was like tried the door handle, and she's looking at me, and she picks up her phone and she Googles, you know, Sue Ryder Falmouth, finds the number, dials it in, calls the shop phone. I'm staring at her through the window, other till sorting it out. Phone rings. I'm like, "Hello." She's like, "Hi there. Are you open?" I'm like, "No." And then she's like, I'm looking at you through the window. I was like, "I know, I can see you." And she's like, "I've got bags of donations, but I can't leave them out here." I was like, "Well, you're gonna have to fucking come back or leave them there, because I've got cash out. I can't fucking open the door." And it's just like, are you what happened to society?
But they'll just go. I feel like this is the Matt Bin rant cast now. I've unleashed something inside me.
Yeah. Mate, the rant is you touched on a touchy subject.
I'm sorry,
mate,
I touched you in not a way that you liked.
That's all right, I did a little fart. I don't know if anyone heard it, but
the great thing about that is I got to see the facial expression.
Yeah, I did tense. I pushed it out, which you shouldn't do. They say, you know, that's one way to get a bleedy bumhole. But
indeed. But yeah, there's also the same person that will just go, "Oh, sorry, mate. I know I'm not open till 2:00. Why? Because that's my opening times.
Because I fucking said so.
Why are you here then? Because I'm counting stock, or I'm handling dangerous chemicals, or I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Or I'm writing the fucking rotors. Like, I don't need to explain this to you, you fucking idiot. You've already walked past all of the seats. The blinds are down. The lights are off, and you've still walked in. Like, I don't owe you shit. Like, if I ain't open, I ain't your best friend. Fuck off." And obviously, you can't say that.
Yeah,
it's just bollocks, and I hate it.
The next worst thing is when I need to close, and I'm like, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be closing in the next 5 minutes. If there's anything you need, feel free to bring it to the till." And then that's as soon as some absolute fucking pedo Like, I don't know, I keep calling them pedos, but they'll go in there with, like, this is like an elderly woman, I'm calling him paedophile, but like they'll go in there with like 15 garments on hangers into the changing room and then fucking slap the curtain. I'm like, you absolute fucking prick. Like, now I got to stand here.
Because more people will then come in because you have to then let them in because you're still technically open.
Yeah, because if I lock the door while they're in the changing room, that makes me look like an absolute fucking predator. So I got to like keep the door unlocked, and if I, and then people are coming in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm like, there's now 15 minutes, and they buy like one bit of clothing. I'm like, you fucking twat. But anyway, it's definitely going in the bin, as you can tell by the fact that I've now got a knife in my hand. This is going in the bin. So listen for the splash, and it goes.
Oh, watch out! I just got this image of you.
And it goes.
If someone just going, excuse me, mate, you open it, you flip with this flick knife out of your pocket and go, what do you think?
Yeah. You want to go? You want to tangle? You want to tussle? We start fucking fighting like it's fucking, what's it called? What's that? West Side Story. Right. Last thing. Speaking of me fighting, men that use the toilets.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Just don't be such a messy bastard.
The penis, right, is ergonomically designed to shoot piss in a straight line.
Yeah,
right?
Well, of course. That was a beautiful sentence, by the way.
Yeah, look, we all make mistakes. Yeah, I'm not one for perfect penile piss aim. I'll get the rim every now and then. But how come every single toilet in a punk venue has to have at least 3 inches of piss on the floor?
It's not even punk venues, mate. Like, I live in fucking bougie as fuck Bath, and the place I work is a bit bougie, despite my constant efforts to meter that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And we have gender-neutral toilets, right, which is the way forward. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not comfortable for everybody, and I understand that. But,
get over it.
But I go in there, and like, again, the ergonomic thing that men have, or not even that. Like, not other people have penises as well. Either way, you got one. Yeah. If you're drunk, it might fly off somewhere. Oh shit. Oh piss.
Yeah.
For that matter, it hits the seat.
I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know, something caught in there and it deflects somewhere. I don't fucking know. So shit happens. Piss happens, right? And it can fly everywhere. And then what you do is you get some fucking toilet paper and you wipe it down. Because it doesn't even matter if it's your own toilet, because that's grim. But you've got a bit more agency there, haven't you? But if you've got to use a toilet that's being used by, other people that identify as male or present as male or have a penis, right? Yeah. Or even gender-neutral toilets where you've got people that identify as women using it. It's a fucking toilet. Everyone needs to use the toilet. If you piss on the seat... I've done this. Oh shit! I accidentally pissed a little bit on the seat. I'll wipe that down and clean it for the next person, or I'll put the fucking seat down. I do that. I put the seat down in male toilets because I know that the chances are that day I'm going to piss someone off by doing that. That's just something that I do.
Yeah.
But I go into these toilets. And there's just fucking piss everywhere, and there's just a couple people in my work because I know it's them. Like, I can't ever say anything, but it's just clean it up. Like, even if you've had an accident and you might have some problems right down there. Absolutely fine. I feel for you. Inform the staff or just clean it up yourself. Other people got to use the toilets. There's a reason why so many women in bars and stuff won't use the toilets if it's a shared toilet. And I've seen this happen millions of times over the years. It's grim as fuck. Like, toilets get messy, whatever. But clean up your fucking piss. And it's almost partly... because it's part of the male entitlement, in my opinion, as well. It feeds into that, and that winds me up. It's just stupid. Just fucking clean it up.
Yeah. What's even worse than piss on the seat is when someone just leaves a fucking plate of bangers and mash right in the bottom of the toilet.
Yeah.
Just they just stuff down loads of bog roll, lay a shite right on top of it, so it looks like bangers and mash, and then they just leave it there, and then they're just like, well, that's fine, and then they just go on with their merry way.
If you can do something about it, you should. It's common fucking decency. And again, I'm very exposed to this because I've had to clean, my share of male, female, and gender-neutral toilets in the last, nearly 10 years. But if you've made that much of a mess, or if you've had an accident, just come and let us know. Don't just piss all over. I mean, it's all like the fucking wall the other week. It's just clean it up.
Yeah, like you have to intentionally be aiming. You have to go in there with the sole purpose of being a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like when I remember once going into a toilet and someone had shat into the hand dryer. And it's like, how did you do that?
What?
Like, you know, like when you go into like a public toilet and there's like there's like a hand washing station that dispenses the soap and then it dispenses the water and then it dries all in one sort of pod. Have you seen those?
I think so. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. So inside the pod, someone had shat inside that little bit where you place your hands, and it's like, it's almost like impressive. It's like, how did you get it up there? I mean, they probably shat in their hand and then put it in the thing, but it's like you did that to be a nuisance.
Yeah.
And there are better ways of being a public nuisance than shitting in a hand dryer.
I just think it's probably just fucking pig ignorant cis men, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I shat in the hand dryer.
Well, I did have to clean shit out of a urinal once. Twice, actually. That was an interesting time. But yeah, just don't. I get, if you want to treat your own fucking toilet like that, get on with it. Not my problem. But
yeah.
I have to use these toilets as a member of staff, right? My customers have to use these toilets. People that might have some, it's easier for them to sit down because they've got dodgy knees or they've got some sort of disability or something. Do you know what I mean? Why do you want to make that so horrible? Pardon me, for all of these people?
Mate, on the drive back from MPF, right, my guts started bubbling, as they tend to do due to my afflictions. And so we got to Cornwall Services and I'm about ready to split in half, So I run in, lift the seat, pull down the kecks and plant myself down right into a variable swimming pool of urea. And it's just like, now what? Like, great, now I just got to sit here because I'm pooing now, And then no toilet paper, so I had to. And I got caught doing the shimmy. I got caught doing the shimmy of shame by a lady who was cleaning the toilet when I was in there. I opened up I didn't have the pants around my ankles, but I was holding them in a way that my shitty ass didn't touch my pants. So I'm coming from one cubicle to the other. She's there holding a mop and staring me dead in my soul, and I just have to be like, oh, sorry, and then like walk into another cubicle, sit down, and then wipe my body. And that whole affair was just a nasty, horrible thing.
Yeah.
That would have been rectified by two things: one, there not being piss on the seat, and two, there being replenished toilet paper. That's not I'm not going to blame bad piss etiquette on the toilet paper, but it was just a nasty affair. I don't know why I told you that story, but here we are.
Here we are.
This is what it's all about.
Touching cloth on the CBN podcast.
Yeah, this is the poo bin Sharkcast or whatever we call it.
So many names. But I honestly think it's just an entitled male thing. It's like, it's fucking great that we can just...
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, a lot of people are quite envious of this, obviously. But if you've got the ability to pull down your fucking garments and just let fly...
Pull down your garments.
Pull down your garments!
Ladies and gentlemen, time to pull down the garments.
This has a sort of weird Tory orgy.
Yeah, you go to one of the Tory work meetings. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the ceremonial pulling down of the garments.
Wine, cheese, and dick party. But it's just cunts. Anyway, but yeah, like it's just,
absolutely.
it's just I think it's just an entitlement thing.
Yeah,
and at what point? And these are all people that are over 18 years old, for the most part, using these toilets, right?
Yeah.
Just clean up your piss. Or worse.
Clean up your piss. Don't leave skiddies, and don't write anything racist on a toilet wall.
Absolutely not.
Laughing. Yeah. One last quick anecdote about this, but in my old job, at Geek Retreat, the last Sunday of every month we used to have the annual Cornwall, the bi-monthly Cornwall furry meetup.
Right.
And not to yuck anyone's yums, if you like dressing like an animal and makes you happy,
oh, yeah.
that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, go for you, good for you. But there was a group of furries that like to wear nappies in their fursuits and poo in them, right? And they like to empty their nappies into our bin.
Yeah, I've had that yeah.
And so there was a conversation I had to have with the head of the furries and say, hey, can you stop your members from putting their pooey nappies in my waste paper bin, because I don't like having handfuls of furry shite.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another one. If you're going to change your nappy, don't put it in the tiny little paper bin,
or just leave it under the benches in a public part of the bar in a bag.
Yeah, or just slap it on the wall like a sticker.
Target practice.
Yeah, on that note, it's going in the bin. Listen for the splash, in it goes. Just men being pricks in toilets. Don't do it. Just fucking take a piss, wash your hands, leave. It's fine. So you got 3 out of 4. Pretty good. You haven't got crippling stomach pains this time round like you did last time.
No.
Your lovely girlfriend did tell me. She was like, "Don't let him eat noodles. Don't feed him noodles again because he was really poorly." She I think that was her kind of giving me a little telling off for hurting you.
She wasn't telling you off. She thought it was funny.
I was like, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, give you fucking gastroenteritis."
Well, it was an experience.
It sure was. But I hope you enjoyed this experience more than last time.
Yeah, I'm not, giving birth to a spicy, partially digested baby.
Spicy baby. Man, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on, as always.
Absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely.
You're one of my favourite peeps.
You're one of my favourite peeps.
And every time I see you, it just fills me with joy. And every time you send me a video of your beans, that makes it sound really dirty.
It does. My 2 very large beans.
Your 2 large beans and your big floppy sauce.
My big floppy runner bean pod.
Imagine, what would you do? Well, imagine listening, like you're on a date with someone and someone's like, "You want to see my big runner bean?" Like, you'd fucking run a mile.
Run a mile? Run a bean?
run a bean, yeah. Terrible.
Run a mile up that stalk.
I'll be running up that hill of beans.
Oh, Christ. Jesus.
Damn.
Christing Christ.
Jesus Christ in Christ, indeed.
One day we'll do one of these if I ever come on again, and it won't just get derailed by something.
No, but it'll be a serious conversation about our annoyances. Oh, brilliant. But yeah, what's been going on with you? You got anything you want to let people know what's been going on, or you just happy to be
I'm doing
here?
a few little bits on in nutrition at the moment. I'm not doing too much. I decided to stop for a while because it was getting a bit too much, like a lot of creative projects can. But I'm chipping away. But just don't expect the algorithms to fucking tell you what's going on, no matter how well they're manipulated. Like, this goes for anyone, bands, artists, the fucking C-bin, everything. Just actually remember, if you can, try and check in, because you're never going to be reminded, A, when you've got time, or B, at all, a lot of the time. But yeah, I've got some cool stuff coming up. There's like well over 650 articles on there now, so that's hundreds of fucking bands and releases to check out. So if you like that sort of stuff, and some really cool interviews. So yeah, I'm doing bits, so keep an eye on it.
Yeah, get it in nutrition, check it out. So follow them on all the socials, get the bell on and all that stuff. And if you see a handsome, bold man at gigs with a Pennywise tattoo, you got a Pennywise tattoo?
I have. Right? That was my first tattoo. Yes.
Yeah, walk up to him and just go, "Beans."
Alexa, play Bean him.
Whoa, bean, 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 bean. Oh man, right. I'm gonna call it there. Because I'm actually gonna go take a shower and get all this bean juice off.
Mate, I might have to do the same.
Yeah, I got all this Jizzcast on me and all this bean juice and whatever.
I can't wait to cringe and listen back to this one. Reevaluate my entire existence.
There's just like normally, right? It's quite hard to find the episode title, right? Like I like to pull a little quote out of each one or something.
I do that with my interviews.
But this one has been absolutely jam packed with fucking wall bangers that just like. But I think the Bullybin Jizzcast has to be the one. But we'll listen back and see what cuts it. But anyway, Matt Speer, I love you.
Love you, mate.
Check out Your Nutrition. Next week will probably be the show from NPF with Sarah Williams and Rupesh.
Hell yeah.
Listen to that. And if it's not that one, it probably means that it was so shit that you can't even listen to it. So, maybe you should have been there. But I'll see you guys next week. And love you. Toodles.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's me, Big Tasty. I just wanted to say cheers for listening to this week's episode, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. Now, if you feel so inclined, you should come check out my Patreon page. You can sign up for as little as £1 a month, and you get weekly exclusive video tier lists and monthly mail-outs with things such as stickers and fabric patches, zines and art prints. Hey, and if you can't spare the money right now, I totally understand. No pressure. I'm going to keep making episodes regardless, but if you can support financially, it really helps the show. Just keep moving on. And then another way you can help is just to follow us on stuff like Twitter and Instagram at Seaburn Podcast and share it around to people that you think might like this filthy shit. Anyway, love you guys, appreciate you, and I'll see you next week.